Breaking news, bombshell news. Shout out to Florida defense team for these two slides that I'm going to play right now. And then stay to the very end. I'm going to play a third one where she puts the icing on the cake. Got to give her all type of props, man. The first one is this one.
Bias. They also bring up the fact it says the state failed to respond to 3 of the 4 issues raised by Ms. Andrews. Instead, the state created its own arguments for Ms. Andrews and responded to those arguments. Such a response is commonly referred to as a straw man fallacy, an attempt to distort and misrepresent the actual argument. So this whole straw man fallacy is basically the straw man argument. It's like, I'm going to recharacterize your argument in this way to make it easier to knock down, but they're really not addressing the issue. It's
right. And then this one.
Now, their response was a 10-page response. And obviously, this isn't the only case that Alicia Andrews' attorney has, but they did file a response. And if you recall, when we talked about the state's reply, the state's response, they indicated that Alicia Andrews only brought up 4 points. And remember, we went through the 4 points. So Alicia Andrews' attorney files their reply, and he comes out the gate saying that rather than respond to the claims put forth by Ms. Andrews, the state seeks to minimize and downplay the clear-cut examples of bias which reasonably caused Ms. Andrews to fear that she could not get a fair trial or hearing. The trial court's immense effect on Ms. Andrews' right to a fair trial is well documented in Ms. Andrews' petition for writ of prohibition. Ms. Andrews raises 4 issues, collectively supported by no less than 14 different examples of judicial bias, not 4 as the state represents. So they're calling the state out on what they said, saying we didn't just bring up 4, it's summarized, it's collectively, it's like 4 groups of things, but we provided no less than 14 examples, different examples of the court's bias.
So that's what we had missed in the previous video. I'm gonna be honest, because I didn't actually see it. So that catches you guys up, but she makes a hell of a point at the very end. But we're gonna walk this down because here's the breaking news right here. District Court of Appeal of the State of Florida, 2nd District, Alicia Andrews, petitioner, State of Florida, respondents. By order of the court, petitioners petition for writ of prohibiting Judge Michelle Cisco from presiding further in Circuit Court case number 24 CF 1199-6B is granted, as the petitioner's motion to disqualify the judge filed in the Circuit Court is deemed legally sufficient. See Franco versus State. Accordingly, Chief Judge Christopher C. Sabella shall immediately appoint a successor judge pursuant to Florida Rule of General Practice in Judicial Administration. The stay imposed by this court's December 5th, 2025 order is lifted. Morris, Sleet, Lebrit, JJ concur. I hereby certify that the foregoing is true. Well, is a true copy of the original court order. And then y'all can see right here, served. Everybody got served. Everybody got served. Let's get back into it. Now, for the rest of the video, I'm going to drop 3 clips that is absolutely going to show you exactly why the hell, in my opinion, that they kicked her ass up out of here as far as off the bench, because let's be fair, square, obvious, and honest. By the looks of it, we can sense something was off. But first, y'all know what to do, man. Free cash, hit that QR code or tap the link in the description. God dang, $5 off. $5 off. $5 cash on Nash, man. The #1 app as far as it goes for money. Yeah. That means it's not a scam. Apple and Google Play ain't finna promote no goddamn scam, not in their store. Hit that QR code or tap the link in the description, man, and get $5 on Nash as soon as you download the app and get to going. Play games, get paid cash. That's free cash from the top dog in this shit, Seti Nash. Boy, let me ask y'all this question. Did they nail it? I'm going to play you what the paper said, and then we're going to roll the news clip. Sounds fair? Roll it. The trial court continued to enable the state's hostile and prejudicial commentary towards the defense when the state barked directly at defense counsel to tell all of its witnesses to refrain from watching the trial online. See Exhibit C. The defense asked the trial court to instruct the state to be mindful of its tone towards the defense, as the state's disrespectful tone had become a feature of the trial. Rather than admonishing the state or even acknowledging defense counsel's concern, the trial court instead chastised the defense, insinuating that counsel was unprofessional for failing to instruct all defense witnesses on rule of sequestration. Defense counsel informed the trial court of the state's active violations of the rule of sequestration, mentioning that the state had been talking to trial witnesses in groups just outside the courtroom. The trial court again dismissed defense counsel's concerns, stating, well, you should have brought it to my attention. The trial court refused to even acknowledge the state's violation of the rule. This one-sided treatment publicly cast defense counsel in a negative light before the jury and signaled to the court's alignment with the prosecution. Damn, that's written like a blade.
Your Honor, one other thing before we bring the jury in. If I understand counsel right, because they invoked the rule of sequestration, they have only advised one of their witnesses about the rule?
I don't know.
Is that correct, counsel?
That's correct.
Okay, so I would ask that they, as they're obligated to do when they invoke the rule, advise all of your witnesses, please, not to view what's on court TV.
The way that counsel is speaking to defense, though, it's been happening since day one. It's very unnecessary.
I know, but here, Ms. White, this is the problem. You invoked the rule of sequestration.
I understand that.
Okay, I'm making a statement. I'm not looking for responses. Okay? You invoked the rule of sequestration. That means all witnesses. It's incumbent upon the lawyers, as the professionals that they are, to tell all of their witnesses as well. You're not to be discussing the case. You're not to be watching it on court TV. And apparently that didn't happen, right? Didn't happen. Inexcusable.
Well, Your Honor,
inexcusable.
If I may respond, we are professionals, just like every other attorney in this courtroom. The bigger point that I was making is that the way that Mr. Harmon has been speaking to this side of the table is unprofessional, it's disrespectful. He's done it in front of the jury as well, and there has not been any attempt by the court to intervene in that. So I want to make sure that it's on the record that it's inappropriate. The rising tone is unnecessary, and it's disrespectful, and it's inappropriate.
Ms. White, everything that's happened in this trial is on the record. Everything's been videotaped. The conduct of everybody involved. Okay? And the failure of the defense to tell their own witnesses not to talk about the case is inexcusable. And that's a matter of record.
Well, also,
we don't want to discuss it any further. I know. We're done.
That they've had witnesses outside the courtroom discussing the case with each other, talking about the case, the prosecutors themselves.
Well, you should have brought it to my attention.
I'm doing it now because it's been an issue. They're apparently saying it's an issue for us, and they're doing it themselves.
Okay, let's bring in Detective Ramos. Ask him if he's been watching court TV about this case, and then we'll take on.
If you ever had astute teachers, right? If you ever had those mentors who would try to correct your behavior and you try to get somebody else to help you, when they called you out on your BS, you kind of knew it. Because what it sounds like to me is basically this. When you tell the damn cop something of the effect of, oh, you weren't watching this, were you? Imagine if you were arguing, right? And you said to somebody, hey, remember I was over at Tommy's house last night, bro? The person that you're trying to explain this to, they should be calling you out on bullshit. You are what's called leading. And that's 100% what the damn judge was doing, was leading. Now, let's get to this next clip because this shit right here had me going. Subsequent to the argument on the rule of sequestration, the state sought to inquire of defense witnesses whether they watched portions of the trial online. See Exhibit D. Defense counsel sought the same inquiry from lead detective Juan Ramos. The trial court initially agreed to allow defense counsel to inquire. However, when Detective Ramos took the stand, the trial court took over questioning, told the witness that it was alleged that he was watching the trial online and limited the inquiry to a single question. Detective Ramos immediately denied watching the trial online. Defense counsel announced that he never accused or alleged Detective Ramos of watching the trial. See also Exhibit D, showing the exact verbiage of defense counsel's request. The trial court abruptly accused defense counsel of lying and falsely asserting that Detective Ramos had been watching the trial online. See Exhibit E. A review of the records show that the trial court mischaracterized defense counsel's statement and request, which was merely to explore potential witness contamination, and improperly portrayed counsel as dishonest, denying defense counsel the opportunity to make an appropriate record while simultaneously attacking counsel's credibility, again demonstrating a departure from the court's obligation to act as a neutral arbiter.
Hello, good morning, Detective. You remain under oath, so there was an issue that was raised, or an allegation, that you've been watching this trial on TV. Is that accurate?
No.
Okay. Any questions?
But I didn't allege that. I just want to ask a question.
Yeah, you did allege it.
I did allege it.
Oh, so, wait. So you told me that you believed you've been watching this on court TV, and now you're backtracking and saying, well, I didn't make the allegation.
I did not say that I believe he's watching. I don't know what he does in his spare time.
Okay.
They brought up the issue. I said, I would like the opportunity to ask Detective Ramos the same question. I didn't allege that he was doing anything.
Okay, so you just said no. Any questions?
No, I mean, you asked the question. I thought I was going to ask the question, but he said no, that's it. I mean,
Okay, very good. Let's go. All right. Anyway, before these witnesses testify, I will allow, out of the presence of the jury, state you can question them on exactly what their knowledge is, who they had conversations with, what the discussion was, and then that way you'll know. And then if you deem it necessary, you can use it in cross-examination. Yes, Your Honor.
I would like the same opportunity for Detective Ramos. I want to know if he's watching the portion of the trial before he took the stand.
Okay. Yeah, go Freeman, ask him. Are we ready to go otherwise?
It's amazing how we don't have TV and all this stuff being broadcast to other goddamn trials and all this shit. Because if we did, we would be able to look at some of these judges and tell them, bro, your bias is showing on your face. One thing about a Californian, right? We wear our emotions in our face. You can 100% tell somebody from California, not because we say port de core, not because of that, homie, or you know what I mean? Not none of that, but because we wear our expressions on our face. When you seem disgusted or pissed off, it's like this, sir. Y'all see me do this shit all the time. But I want to run y'all this because it's very damn telling.
Of the bias. And now it says A, the trial court's hostility towards defense counsels. Now they're going to go through their 4 main grounds. A, the trial court's hostility towards defense counsels. Ms. Andrews cited at least 6 examples of the trial court's hostility towards defense counsel. And it's plural because there were multiple occasions that the court maybe got a little snippy with the various defense attorneys for different issues. 1, the trial court refusing defense counsel's request for a sidebar. I remember that one.
Judge, I would object to the question is phrased, where they connected to is vague.
I'm going to sustain the objection, rephrase.
What is the purpose of these of showing these rifles to the jury?
Objection.
Sustain the objection. Sustain the objection.
What is the purpose of showing why there's a safety on this firearm, on these rifles?
Sustain the objection.
I don't even know what the objection is at this point. There's no legal basis. It's just an objection.
It's
Objection to
irrelevant.
the speaking.
It's
objections
irrelevant
by
and it's
counsel.
improper question.
It was elicited in front of jury.
Mr. McClellan, I'm not going to argue with you. If I allow the witness to testify, then that makes it relevant and material. Okay?
And if it's relevant, then I should be able to
Objection, Your
cross-examine
Honor.
on it.
I'm going to
Then
sustain
can we
the...
come
The
sidebar?
jury.
No.
So I can't argue. I can't come
Objection.
sidebar.
Mr.
This is
McClymonte,
improper for him to do
please
this in front of the
stop.
jury, Your Honor.
It's improper.
It's disrespectful, too.
I asked to come sidebar.
And the answer is no, we don't need to sidebar it. If the witness was permitted to testify something, that makes it relevant and admissible.
I'm not arguing that, Judge. I just want to talk to her about what she testified to.
Listen, I've sustained the objection. Ask your next question.
But I believe Florida defense team, shout out to her page again. I believe she nailed this shit like you a goddamn, I don't know, construction worker or a carpenter. She nails this one. Pay attention to exactly what she says. To me, this is exactly what the hell it truly is.
5, the trial court sustaining objections without any articulable basis, citing again the location. And then 6, the trial court denigrating defense attorney Yesli Herrera.
Ms. Herrera, stop. Ms. Herrera, stop. I didn't ask you to talk.
I didn't know I had to ask.
Yeah, you do. You do. Stop, Ms. Herrera, you need to stop right now, because you know what? You've been making faces throughout this entire trial. Yeah, you have been.
Okay.
And everything's been caught on video.
I know, and I also hope that the court has caught and noticed all of the gestures and the tone which was addressed yesterday for the state. But it's fine, no problem, I will do my best to.
Please, do your best. Yeah, and your attitude is very disrespectful. I'll note for the record. Okay, very good. You wouldn't mind moving. Let's bring him back in.
So what happens now, Nash? What happens now? Well, like we called it in the beginning when we searched the damn laws and statutes of the laws, we said at maximum, she gets 15 years. Bare minimum, she gets probation, downward departure. So we shall see exactly how this goes, because I'm assuming by, what's today's date? I'm going to assume by February, because we won't go all the way throughout February without her basically not getting a new judge, and a time for her to be sentenced. Nah, we're definitely going to get that. But I'm going to be fair, square, obvious, and honest. For Alicia Andrews, man, Shawty, you got blessed. For real, because that judge was biased. That judge was horrible. And at certain times, it's certain things that you can and can't do. The key element that I really believe really solidified that judge getting the hell up out of there is when she said, y'all basically gonna get out of here before the holiday. You can't do that. You're rushing the judgment. And that's what you cannot do. So when she did that shit, I'm listening like, yeah, this is bad. This is freaking horrible. You can't tell the jury, hey, I'm gonna make sure y'all get out of here, and y'all y'all gonna make sure y'all get to y'all vacation. So go ahead and do this shit today because they didn't want to come back to court. That pressure of the jury? Hell nah. Hell nah. So I'm searching real quick on this one. I had to find out real quick how long that she has been in jail. And Alicia Andrews was arrested July 2024 through January 2027. So she's been in custody for 1 year and 6 to 7 months. Ultimately, Nash, what do you think? What are you trying to tell us, bro? I think she's gonna get a 5-year sentence. But because she doesn't have a history of doing dumb shit, it is what it is. She's solid, bruh. And y'all can tell she got used. I know a lot of y'all want to, oh, she knew this and she knew that, bruh. They allow so much bullshit into that courtroom. You bringing up a text message from a high school child. You found no other text messages connecting her to say that she wanted to do anything to him. You can tell she was puppy love struck. And in a certain sense, she still doesn't really fully grasp everything. You can kind of tell, like, she kind of got it all, but she don't really got it all, man. And at certain times, we have to protect people from themselves. She needs to get the hell away from there, get the hell away from him, move to another state, do your thing. But at bare minimum, protect yourself. Because the only people who are protecting you right now was your lawyers. They did a hell of a job. They may not talk in a tone that we all like. They may not say certain things that we all like. They may even hold a bit of their damn emotions on their sleeves. But it's hard not to when you're being discriminated against blatantly and openly. Maybe it's a Tampa versus Miami thing. Maybe the judge is too cozy with the damn prosecution. Or maybe the judge really is a horrible judge. And she needs to be basically kicked off the bench. Whatever the case may be, thank God she ain't on it no more. A lot of people say, how do you know the next judge ain't gonna fry her and all of that stuff? Fresh pair of eyes, seeing how we see it. She never handled a gun or anything like that. I don't see how she gets 15 years. I just don't. But it ain't about what the hell I think. At this point in time, what the hell do you think? Is you rocking with Nash? You said F that Nash. She getting fried like a damn cooked egg. Or you got something else that you might want to point out. Man, let it hang, let it hang, let it hang. I appreciate you all, man. I appreciate you all. I truly do. If you want to help the channel grow, hit that like button and comment your thoughts. Even if you only want to win the PlayStation or the Xbox that we're giving away at 300K, we are 26K away from that giveaway, man. Once again, I appreciate you all. And click right here to see how a new lawsuit that dropped today. I think people didn't catch that part. A new lawsuit that dropped today on 50 Cent. And I think there's some hidden evidence he don't know about because they've been saying some shit for years. But the baby mama, she dropped a lawsuit today that has me wondering what the hell. His career is in danger. Click right here to see that video or click right here for the playlist to get you through your day. And I'll catch you on the next one.